Is Immanuel Quickley cementing himself as a franchise guard? And do the Raptors have something in Jontay Porter? Hey everyone, welcome to Inside The Raptors. Rob Wong joined alongside by Ryan Wolstat of the Toronto SUN. And Ryan, it was clear when the Raptors acquired him from the Knicks, Immanuel Quickley was someone they identified as a player with a very bright future. And we've seen that quite a bit since he has come to Toronto. The last 5 games, especially with a lot of the starters out due to injury, Quickley has looked quite impressive, averaging 22 points, 6 rebounds, and 10 assists. Do you think moving forward here, he is one of the cornerstone pieces for this franchise?
Yeah, I think he definitely is. They made a smart decision to identify him when they were looking to move OG Anunoby for value. They were smart to get two players in Quickly and RJ Barrett instead of just draft picks. Like a lot of teams are always just looking for that, and then you're rebuilding forever. But the Raptors identified Quickly as the lead guard of the future, and he's definitely, I think, even ahead of schedule. In New York, he was held back playing behind Jalen Brunson and playing with two other lefties. It's not like baseball where the more lefties, the better. 3 lefties is too much for one lineup, and he just wasn't able to thrive. And what we've seen in Toronto is a guy who no one really knew that he was the passer he was. Even at Kentucky, he was kind of in 2 or 3 guard lineups and didn't get to pass this much. And then we knew the jumper was smooth and it's really pretty, but it's looked really good at times. He can finish in the lane. He just looks like he's got a lot in his arsenal. Defensively is kind of a work in progress, and maybe they'd like the shooting to be a bit more consistent because he's kind of like had 2 really good games and then one dud, and so they'd like eventually he'll have to put it together, but definitely has a bright future and looks every bit the point guard for the long term for the Raptors.
Now, with all the injuries the Raptors are currently dealing with, a few guys have gotten some more run, including center Jontay Porter, who was signed to a two-way deal back in December, and we've seen him sporadically here or there when they've needed him. It's not a huge sample size, but he's had a couple of nice games of late, including one against the Denver Nuggets. Maybe it was because he was taking on his brother and Michael Porter Jr., so he's a little bit more motivated. But is it possible that the Raptors have found a diamond in the rough with Porter?
It's you know what, really early on it looked like for sure like he came on really strong the first few games, and then it was kind of like, oh, maybe not, because he's obviously battled a lot of injuries that kept him from being drafted. But lately, like you said, he's looking really impressive, and it's not just obviously he's a stretch 5 that can shoot the ball, although that hasn't really shown itself yet. Like he has good form and the potential to hit shots. And he's a really good passer, which fits Darko Rajakovic's system to a T. Like you have obviously Jakob Pertl and Kelly Olynyk are in front of him, but there's times when they're all healthy that they can play 2 of them at a time on the court and they can all pass. So I think he's a nice fit. And what's really impressed me and made me think that yes, this is a guy that could be a find for the Raptors is defensively. He's looked pretty solid. Like he's never going to be a big rebounder, but even against Nikola Jokic, who's obviously probably the best player in the NBA, the most unguardable this side of Joel Embiid, I know Jokic had a triple double in the third quarter, like he always does, but Porter gave him some trouble and made it tough for him. So I think if you do the combo of what he's capable, like the multifaceted skills offensively and the ability to kind of defend a little bit, I think this is a guy that's worth keeping around. Is he going to be a starter? Probably not. But if he can be a viable backup, that's a good find for an organization that has had a run of not so much success in developing young guys after having so much success for years.
Yeah, well, they need as much size as they can get right now with a lot of the injuries that they're dealing with. As always, you can leave your Raptors thoughts in the comments section below. For Ryan Wolstat, I'm Rob Wong. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you next time.